Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to tear up the old playbook for getting over a breakup. We'll be looking at three powerful truths that, honestly, most of us miss in that really difficult period after a relationship ends. We all have this kind of unwritten script in our heads for how to heal a broken heart. But what if that script is actually setting us up to fail? Let's start by challenging the common advice and all those expectations we have about getting over someone. Okay, so the first part of that old playbook, it's all about waiting for closure. And so many of us get stuck in this painful holding pattern, just waiting for something that might never even show up. Our first truth is going to tackle this idea head on. Just look at the shift in perspective this requires. On the left, you've got all the things we think we need from the other person. That final talk, that perfect explanation, that apology, right? But the real truth is over there on the right. Closure isn't something someone else gives you. It's something you have to create for yourself. And that's really the core idea, isn't it? Creating your own closure is an internal act. It's all about taking back control of your own emotional story and deciding for yourself that this chapter is over. You just don't need their permission to move on. Think about that phrase for a second. Outsourcing your peace. You're basically handing someone else the keys to your own well-being. The moment you decide that your personal growth isn't blocked by their silence or their unanswered questions, well, that's the moment you really start to take your power back. All right, let's move on to our second truth. This one is all about busting that myth of the big, dramatic, movie-style healing moment and looking at what the process really, truly looks like day to day. We've all seen it in the movies, right? The main character has some sudden, tearful epiphany, and boom, they're healed. But reality, it's so much quieter. And let's be honest, it's a lot harder. True healing is showing up to your own life even when you're still hurting. It's choosing the long-term discipline of getting better over that short-term relief of just wallowing. And this is where the real work happens. It's in these small, uncomfortable, and often pretty lonely actions. It's dragging yourself to the gym when you have zero motivation. It's trying to get through your workday when your mind is just somewhere else completely. This is the unseen work that builds that real resilience over time. And you know what? That's exactly why it changes you. Because you're not doing it for anyone else, you're not performing for an audience, you are rebuilding your foundation, brick by painful brick, all in private. That's what creates a strength that is real and, frankly, unshakable. Okay, and that brings us to our third and final truth. And this one's about reframing, maybe the hardest feeling of all, that deep down sense that the breakup has just fundamentally broken you as a person. So I want you to really sit with this question for a second. It shifts the entire perspective from one of just damage to one of discovery. Instead of seeing yourself as a victim of destruction, what if you could see yourself as a student of a really important, even if it's a painful lesson? So that pain you're feeling, it's not some random punishment. Think of it more like a diagnostic tool. It's valuable information, and it's shining a spotlight on the exact areas of your life that need to be strengthened. Where your sense of self was way too tied to someone else, or where you let your boundaries slide, or where you were looking for your worth outside of yourself. And really, this boils it down to the two paths forward. You can honestly look at all of this information and use it to rebuild, to create a stronger foundation for your future. Or you can ignore it, try to numb the pain, and risk getting stuck in the exact same pattern, just with a different person. Okay, so if the old playbook of just waiting for closure and hoping for some big dramatic healing moment is all wrong, then what should we be aiming for? What's the new goal here? First things first, let's just throw out the whole idea that speed is the measure of success. This isn't a race, right? The goal isn't just to get over it as fast as you can. The real win is something so much deeper and way more permanent. This, right here, this is the new goal. The real victory is building a version of yourself that's so whole, so self-sufficient, that you just don't need anything from the past to complete you. Not their approval, not revenge, and not even that closure you once thought was absolutely essential. And that is when the real shift happens. When you achieve this internal state of wholeness, that's the real transformation. When you get there, you're not just healed, you're actually stronger, you're wiser, and you are more ready for whatever comes next than you ever were before.